Hi all, welcome back to Guide to SolidWorks. So in this tutorial we are going to look at how we use the circular and the linear pattern tool. We'll look at the advantages of using the difference between the features pattern tool and the features here, which is here, on the difference between using the pattern tool in the sketch option here. Okay. We'll look at the advantages and disadvantages of both, and we'll have a look at how we can model a bit more effectively using this tool. So let's dive in then. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is the use of the circular pattern tool. So I'm going to quickly sketch on the top plane here, and I'm going to create a circle. Now I'm going to create a circle here with 6 holes in it. So what I could do is I could set a circle. Let's say it is 100 milli diameter, like so. Now what I like to do is use a construction circle to then set my distance for where I want things on, especially on a circular pattern. So I've got my inside circle, let's say that's 50. Now from this, what I want to do is turn that into a construction line. So click on the line for construction, and you'll see it appearing there as a construction line. What I'm going to do is show you 2 different ways of patterning. Now if I use the circular pattern in a sketch, I'm going to draw my first circle at the top here, and let's say that is 20. Okay. If I want 6 of them, so I could go into the circular pattern, use the circular pattern in the sketch area. Now it's asking me what I want to pattern around, so if I click that circle here, and it wants me to highlight how many I want, so let's go 6. Now it's asking me to select the circle that I want to pattern itself, so let's select that circle there, and it's created them 6 circles. Okay. Now if I tick that, I've got them 6 circles all specified in there. They're not defined. I can define them quite simply. Put a centre line in to there and dimension the offset. Should do the job. It could also need this diameter of 1 as well. Let's get the angle around to the centre of that circle, just to show you how defined it is. Now, that to there, giving me 30 in there. Tick. Okay, so it's created the 6 circles from that single one using the circular pattern. Now they're not defined, so to define one of these, if I just take any one of the circles and take the centre point on there, the fixed point, and if I fix that, it will define the rest of them. Now I know they're exactly where I want them. They're in relationship to that circle, they're equally spread 6 apart, so they are where I want them. That's fine, I know that, so I've just fixed the centre of one, and it'll take that relationship across them all. Now, with that then, I can go to features and I can go to extrude. And if I extrude that up with the 6 holes in, leave it at 10, we get the pattern we want, like so. Okay, now that's good, but what if I want to modify this? Now if I want to modify these holes, I've got to go back into my sketch, edit, and then I've got to edit this sketch. So because I've done the pattern in a sketch, I can't actually edit the pattern itself. I have to delete all of the holes, all the circles, and re-pattern them. So if I wanted 4, I'd have to delete all of these, like so, and then repattern the original sketch. Clicking on the arc as my point to go around, the circle to go my point around, and again using that circle there. But this time, let's say we want 4 equally spaced. We've now got 4 equally spaced. Tick there, and it will repeat the process and give me the 4. Now again, that's good, but it's a little bit too much of a faff to have to keep going back into sketches to alter the pattern and recreate a new pattern every single time that I want to change it. There's a lot quicker way of doing this. So for instance, if I take this back all the way to the point where we've just got the circle, now I'm going to extrude this circle. Come back out of here. So I've extruded that by 10 without any cuts in it at all, without any holes in it. Now this is the way that I'll prefer to pattern unless I absolutely have to use the sketch pattern tool. There are the very odd occasions where it becomes a fixed where I have to pattern using the sketch tool. But if I don't have to use the sketch tool, I will always try to use the pattern in the features tool. Okay, and the reason for that is it's a lot more durable and a lot more flexible. So if I click on this front face here and I sketch on there, now I'm just going to create one circle. If I turn this on here, I'm going to create one hole. Let's put it there, and again put my construction circle in, fasten it to there. Ooh. I want that to be 50. Sorry about that. And I'm just going to make that a vertical relationship so I know that's perfectly aligned. Turn the circle to a construction line again. And I'm just going to give this a size of 20 again. So I'm making the exact same component. I'm going to cut that single hole through, so features and cut. And I am taking that through all and just ticking there. Okay, so I've got that one cut through that disc. Now what I can do now is go to pattern, circular pattern, and with this I can pick the outside edge of my disc as my direction, and my feature is going to be my hole or my cut through. So if I drop down my features or my design tree here, click that cut extrude, and I can now select how many I want here. So let's say I want 6. Put that in there, like so. Okay, but that's great. So I've got 6 in there. Now I decide my model's not quite right, I actually needed 4. Now rather than having to mess around, going back into the sketch, deleting things, re-editing the sketch, I can now just click on that feature, edit the feature, change my value here from 6 to 4, tick there, and I now have 4 holes equally spaced rather than the 6, which makes this tool a lot more durable in terms of its use. Now if we are going to be modeling using the pattern tool but doing these linear as well, so if I go to another sketch, open up another sketch, and I get on the front plane, this time I'm just going to create a rectangle. Center rectangle, (100 by 50), And we can use the same process. So again, I'm not going to show you the sketch one because I don't really like using the sketch process, but it works exactly the same way as the features one. Gives you the exact same options. So if we go into this, I'm going to features and I'm going to extrude again, leaving it at 10. Now if I'm going to linear pattern on here, I'm going to create again a circle. So I'm going to pick that front face, sketch on there, and I want a circle in this top corner, and I'm going to set a dimension to that, or a diameter to that of 10. Now that circle is not specified a distance in, so let's give it a distance in from the edge. Let's go 10 in and 10 down, like so. Okay, and I'm going to cut that through. So features, cut, and cut that hole through. Through what? There we go. And we've got the hole in there. Now, if I select on my extrude cut here, my cut extrude, and go to linear pattern this time, now what it wants me to do is select a direction, and the direction is based around the edge. So I'm just going to select that edge there. Now it's picked up that it's going in the left hand direction. I want it to go right this way. So if I'm just flip that direction, and then I can set my distances. So my offset is from the center. So I am going to offset that by 20. Let's create 5 of them. So 4 more in this case. And then I can do the same in direction 2. So direction 2 down here, I'm going to select this as my offset. Now again it's going up, so I'm going to come down. So if I flip the direction and space them out to 20 and make 3, in fact I'm going to space these out to 15. Should just fit them on, there we go. So I space them out to 15 and I get all of them holes in there, like so. Okay, now what we might find as well if we're doing the linear pattern, we might want to find that we don't want some of these, so we can skip some. So if I click on the center of some of these, so for instance I don't want any of these holes in the center, it will skip them and get rid of them and just leave the ones around that I have selected. So I'm going to leave them free and just keep the holes around the outside, tick there, and it will pattern them around the outside edge. Okay. Again, I can go back into that pattern, edit the feature, and I can go back into the instances if I want to and say maybe want to keep that one in the center, or maybe I wanted to change the number or want to change the distance apart. I can do all that just by quickly selecting a few of the different options, tick at the top, and then we get the new pattern in there. Okay. Now, this tutorial is just around how to use that pattern tool a bit more effectively and how to use it to improve the way that we model in terms of modeling more efficiently. So hopefully this has taught you something, or made you think about something that you might model differently in the future, rather than using that sketch pattern. Maybe just thinking about using the pattern after you've created the feature, and then patterning that feature just becomes a little bit more effective. Okay, so again, thanks for watching, and if you like the content, please give us a big thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, bye for now.